Good. Questions?
Go ahead, Dave.
I was just going to start with Terry and Arnold. You got him back at practice yesterday. Obviously, a good step. What, if anything, does that maybe mean for Monday?
I don't see him Monday. That was just get him out there moving around an individual. He's still got a little bit to go here to, make sure that he's ready or can be ready to produce, protect himself, all of that. So, but he's improving. That's a positive sign.
When do you make the decision on Kirby Joseph this week?
Yeah, that could come down this afternoon. It could be tomorrow. We'll see. He hasn't practiced. We'll reassess. I know he's doing a lot better. We just want to be smart with it and see where he's at. But he is feeling better. He's getting better. So, but I don't see him practicing today.
Not specifically, but is it like a tendonitis type issue where it just needs time to calm down?
It's not necessarily that, but time will help. Time could help, So, we'll see. But there's a lot of guys too that are dealing with a lot of things, and you can't have every player, you can't lose every guy. So you just got to gauge where some of them are at. Some of them are worse than others, and he's dealing with something, and it's affecting him right now. So we just got to get it to calm down, help him.
And just to wrap up the injury questions, Decker, do you expect him on Monday?
He's trending the right way. Practice yesterday, he looked good. I'm not going to practice him today, but he is going to move around, do some things with Fish and them. But he's trending that way.
I just want to touch base on the Branch situation. I think you've spoken on it. It wasn't acceptable. It happened. He's serving a suspension, but there's been kind of some residual stuff here that it seems like it's really drawn the locker room tighter together. Can that be a silver lining? Can you find a motivational element on this, like just bringing the guys in the locker room closer together as maybe having something more to push for, to fight for?
Well, that's what our guys are about, man. We overcome adversity, and listen, that's their brother, man. And if you're going to attack their brother, that's what they're going to do. So, we got a tight-knit group, and I've already mentioned this, man. BB's a good dude. So he's paying for what happened, and he'll be back, ready to go from Minnesota.
Flip side of that is, there's been a lot of noise just about that, about the post on social media, even about the ref. Can that be a distraction at all? Like, are you worried about that? Is there any?
No, because we've already talked about, we can't worry about those things, particularly when it comes to playing, man. If we sit here and worry about that or what could be called or not called, or man, it's all these other things that have nothing to do with us. We have no control over any of that other than the way we play. And we got to cut it loose and play our style of football, period. And we do that. We like our chances always. So that's the most important thing. Our guys know that. We assume that we're going to get nothing to go our way. And, and that's okay. Seriously, that's the game, man. There's always calls, every team. It happens one way or another, and you got to overcome them, and the good teams always do. So we're not worried about it.
Meek was one of the last guys standing in the injury situation last year. You're relying on him again a lot this year. Just from an energy standpoint, how good of a guy is he to have when the chips are maybe a little bit down, whether it be for injuries or whatever reason?
Great guy to have. He's a skilled player, and he's tenacious, he's feisty, he's confident, and teammates love his energy because he does. He brings it all the time, brings it in practice, brings it in the games. He's a ball guy, and he is. He's kind of he's one of those guys that sparks our defense, the other guys around him. So, look, I say it all the time. It doesn't matter about how things go as it pertains. Okay, a play happens here. Somebody gets a play on you. They make a play on you. It's a great whatever. You just want to know those guys will go in there and they'll compete. They will compete. There's no fear, and they're going to cut it loose. And as long as our guys do that, which Amik's one of those guys, we'll be just fine.
I know John asked you about Wingo last week. A few of your offensive linemen in conversations have just mentioned how problematic it is to block him in practice. I know you said you wanted to kind of give him time still to kind of come back from this knee injury, but how much of it is just he's not a schematic fit for what you're doing right now up front, whether it's the big ends or the focus on run stopping with the interior?
You're talking about Wingo, correct? Yes. I think it's, certainly getting Mac back creates depth, right? And so between Reeder and Lopez, you got Mac back. Lacey can kind of play some of the three technique big end. It is a little bit of that, now that you've got all your guys, where exactly does it fit, He can play some 3 and nose, but we've got a lot more versatility now. And then he's not really special teams. So it just kind of puts him in one of those spots where he just keeps working, just keep working. And doesn't mean this is done for him or he's not going to get an opportunity. Those guys know it. I mean, I'm watching Miles Adams, man. He had a heck of a practice this week on scout team. And those guys need to know. And I think they understand. We watch it all the time. And you're one play away from being the next guy up. So Wingo's in that boat. He keeps practicing, keeps trying to get better, and we'll just see where it goes. But he's doing a good job. This is nothing on him. He's just got to continue to keep working and improve his craft.
Dan, I remember back in the day, the Detroit Pistons bad boy era and the way the officials viewed them. The league did send a memo out involving Jack Campbell and the way he plays. Do you feel like there's a growing misunderstanding about the way your players play the game, that it's too aggressive or violent?
Well, look, it was the league did say what he was doing is legal. But if you miss with a punch, it would be illegal. So I want to make that clear. But listen, we can't worry about all that, man. And when it came out, I showed it to the team and I said, hey, here's the emphasis. Make sure you hit the football. And that's as simple as that. You don't have to go into any more than that. Jack, you good? Yeah, got it. I'm going to hit the football. So we got to hit the pigskin. And it's really that simple.
The offensive line has shown.
Hold on once. I'll come right to you after.
Offensive line has shown a lot of growth, obviously, through these first 6 weeks, with Decker not practicing basically at all to this point. How much of a challenge has that been to develop that chemistry with the turnover that you're also going through, and how impressive you've been that they've been able to kind of work through that?
It's not easy. I mean, that unit, more so than any group that works together, that's a unique group. And, it's also why it's hard to – out of all these positions, you can, hey, let's give this guy, he's going in on third down. He'll go on the goal line. He goes in short yardage. Maybe it's a 4-minute. Maybe it's backed up. Or you can't do that at O-line. It's hard because when you take a piece out and bring somebody else in, man, they've all been working together. They've got each other figured out. They know how to fit combinations. They know their get off, their take off. They know how to pass the stunts. Like it's that communication without speaking, right? The body demeanor, and so when you insert another piece, it takes a minute to figure those guys out, to figure that next piece out, and not just the guy next to you. I insert right guard, Sewell and Graham have to figure him out again. It's something new. So that's where it's hard to just, you want to get some guys reps. It's hard to just place them in and out. So back to your point, when you miss a piece like Decker, and you've already got two new guys, relatively new, at the guard position. You're trying to work through that. It's not easy, but those guys have done a hell of a job. Hank's done a hell of a job, and they really have grown a ton. They really have, and we get Decker back. That it only helps us. It only helps us. So Decker's a hell of a player, and seen a lot of football, and he makes guys around him better. And that now you get that group back together, those 5, and I think it'll elevate us.
Over the past 2 years, how much do you feel like your offense has insulated your guys from the personnel losses on defense? And how much is your philosophy governed by the idea that the offense is more in control of things, obviously, if you have possession of the ball?
Well, look, we've got – I feel like we've got a little bit of everything here, and we can play a number of different ways. That's always going to help you. So then you can adjust accordingly off of how the game goes. You can pull back, you can push, you can and that helps. We got an outstanding quarterback, man. I mean, that helps when you can put it in his hands and you do what you need to do. That's always going to give you that flexibility to play the game a certain way. So, and I think most teams with a good quarterback would tell you that, but it's always going to be, I know it's always kind of been that way, but a number of it is, we had injuries, like last year. And so you're playing rabbit a little bit. You're trying to stay ahead of the opponent and make them catch you. But every game's different. Every season's different. And, it's a little bit like Cleveland. Man, we really leaned on our defense against Cleveland. We knew we needed to. They showed up, played big, takeaways, and then offense we scored. But it wasn't one of those kind of like what we'd done last year. So I just go back to this. We play with 3 phases, and we will do that every game, every season.
One quick one in just about the game, because we haven't talked a lot about it this week. I mean, I know it's mid-October, but this is really 2 heavyweights. It could be ultimately decide NFC, home field. So just as you look at this, the magnitude of this game this week.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's one of the first things I thought of going in. It's like, this will have meaning towards the end of the year. This will mean something. But at the same time, it's the next game. And if you make it more than the next game in front of you, you got to be careful with that, and you still got to be loose enough and confident enough to just cut it loose. And don't worry about a misstep, because the fact of the matter is, too, man, it's a long season. It's a long season. So, man, let's worry about playing better than we did last week. Like, really, let's just play better. Let's play cleaner football, protect it like we have been. Let's get some takeaways. Let's get some plays on special teams, find some explosives, and find a way to beat this opponent, because it is a good opponent. All right. Yep.